Can we talk about homeschoolers not being on grade level? First off, I unschool my children. They're now ages 21 down to 13. We've been doing this for 15 years and we don't do grade levels. Precisely because children learn at different rates and they are ahead in some ways and behind in others, but also those metrics were created probably by some crusty old white dude of where our kids should be when, and they're not universal. I get a fair number of public school teachers in my comments saying, well, I know who the homeschool kids are because when they come into my classroom, they're behind, they're not on grade level. Homeschoolers are always behind, they're not on grade level. First off, I've talked about this in another video. You are seeing sampling bias. The kids that you see teachers in public school that were formerly homeschooled are the kids who did not have their needs met in the homeschool environment. That's sampling bias. You only see the kids for whom homeschool was not working. You don't see the kids for whom it's successful. But on top of that, this comment is fire. Teachers also forget that the majority of their own students are not on grade level. Now, my husband is a math special education teacher at the high school, and he spends his entire day, his entire career is devoted to high school students who are not on grade level. Some of that is because of learning disabilities, and a significant chunk of it is because of how the system has failed them. He gets them in high school, and they often can't do basic elementary math. Not because they're not capable, but because they weren't getting appropriate accommodations earlier in their educational career. They did not get the support they needed to be successful in the school environment. And they may also have complex mitigating factors at home that make it very difficult for them to plug into schooling, to feel invested in their own education, and even want to learn these concepts in the first place. They're not in a place on Maslow's hierarchy where learning math is all that important because their safety and basic needs are not being met at home. Most kids in America are not on grade level. They've experienced 4 years of trauma and hardship and a pandemic and our society burning down and falling into fascism and witnessing a genocide. It's hard for any child to want to focus on academics right now. But I will also add that folks in institutionalized schooling attempting to assess homeschool kids fail to realize the way that successful homeschool and unschooled kids learn at a different rate. They learn different subjects at different times. And they're also working on their social and emotional development. They have a significant advantage if they come from a healthy, supportive homeschool family. And I know there is a lot of toxic homeschooling out there, especially in fundy circles. I don't want to diminish that fact at all. But kids who have a good homeschooling environment where they are free from bullying from peers, they are not shamed for their academic needs and needing to get accommodations and support, they're not belittled, they're not left behind. Those kids have less to recover from in adulthood in terms of processing and getting over what happened to them in childhood. And that emotional and psychological advantage is not quantified the same way academic performance is. There are so many benefits and ways that homeschool kids can be ahead of institutional school peers that are not quantified on an academic assessment. So let's not use this who's on grade level. None of our kids are on grade level, no matter where they are. But also, grade level is an artificial construct. And also, there's a lot more to consider than a small set of academic measurements.